or boys. And men often will ask themselves, what has to happen before I actually become a man, or what has to happen before I actually feel like a man? By the end of this video, you will know where you stand. I am going to go over the 4 stages of becoming a man. The first stage of becoming a man is the squire stage. This stage lasts from birth right up until 13 or 14 years old. This word comes from the Middle Ages, where the squire would assist the knight. During this stage, the boy dreams of adventure. They dream of becoming a big, powerful knight one day, and how they will change and save the world. They are very naive, and they think they can do everything. Oftentimes, they lack respect and self-discipline, and they require guidance. And oftentimes, when they cannot do something, they will get very frustrated and upset with themselves. A lot of growth happens during this early stage. The squire is always trying out different things in order to see what he is good at. Near the end of this stage, they will begin to take on knight-like qualities like loyalty, persistence, truth, and honor. The second stage is the knight stage. Most of you watching this video are in the knight stage, and it's one of the most crucial points in your life. This stage lasts from puberty right up until your late 20s. This is the time of your life where you usually seek challenge, adventure, and fun. I like to think of this stage as the burning, fiery stage of a man's life, where you have this deep desire within you to go out and conquer in all aspects of life. But this can also be a very difficult time in a man's life, because this is the time where you will have to choose between what your parents want you to do and what you want to do. And on top of this, you are probably very unsure of what you want to do as a career, and you're probably very unsure about your life in general. But these feelings are completely normal, and you should not be worried about feeling like this. It's important to live in the moment without a lot of responsibilities, and I'm personally in the knight stage as well. The next stage is the prince stage. This is a very interesting part of a man's life. As princes, men are focused on building, establishing, and creating in the world. If you want to start a business, this is usually when it happens. This is where you have a clearly defined purpose in your life. Some of you may be thinking, I don't know my purpose or what I want to do, and I don't know if I ever will. A massive difference between the knight stage and called patience. A knight is not patient. He is running wild, wanting everything to happen to him right away. Whether it is business, so it is equally as important as patience is faith. You need to have faith that you will get to where you want to go as long as you take the right steps along the way. A prince is not overly concerned with the outcome, but he is very concerned with the process, and he is constantly course correcting and improving the way he does things. A prince will build his kingdom, and during this time, he will probably find a queen to stand beside him, although this can happen at any point in a man's life. The final stage is the king stage. The king is calm, relaxed, reflective, and more importantly, he possesses wisdom. You cannot really change a king. A king has strong beliefs. He knows who he is and what types of people he wants to surround himself with. A king has built his kingdom, from his business life to his family life. He does not waste his time worrying about small things that don't really matter, because he is focused on the bigger picture of running his kingdom. If someone is around him who he does not resonate with, he will kick him or her out of his kingdom. This is also the part of a man's life where he wants to give back to the world. There is no right or wrong stage to be in, but no one actually asks what exactly to talk about this topic. Say that it's totally subjective to the person, and you should only do what makes you happy. To some extent, I do agree with this, but there is a giant piece of the happiness puzzle that I believe people are missing, and in this video, I am going to address it. Let's start off with an example. If I ask someone, what makes you happy? And they say to me, owning cool cars makes me happy. I have a very cool car collection. So this is cool, but this is a superficial happiness. It is not really a core happiness. There is a quote by Socrates that I think is very interesting. He said, "The secret of happiness is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less." I will explain this quote through an example. We all know someone who has gone over to Africa for a little bit of time to help out the kids there. One of the most common things people say when they come back from Africa is how happy the kids are there. Even though they have almost nothing, a lot of them are laughing and enjoying themselves much more than the kids back in North America who have much more than them. This is because their happiness comes from much less. Another interesting idea to understand with very young children is that you don't really ever ask them, "Are you happy?" If you asked a child that, they wouldn't even really know what you were talking about. Now, there will be a time where you will ask that kid, "Are you happy?" And they will say either no or yes. Because as you get older, more stuff and burdens get laid upon you. Where a lot of people get in trouble is when they think happiness is tangible, meaning they can touch and smell it like a new car. But happiness is not this. Happiness just is. Another quote that I really love is, "Happiness is reality minus expectations." When we start laying things on the child, when we start laying expectations on the child, and when the child does not achieve our expectations, like getting a good grade or not coming in first in a race when he was expected to come first, then they become unhappy. Because we have associated happiness with these tangible things, it's impossible to get core happiness. When us humans are in our totally natural state, when there is nothing tangible chaining us down, then we are happy. When we are free, we are happy. That is why children are so happy, because there is nothing chaining them down. They just kind of laugh and do whatever they want to do. A lot of them don't even make sense when you talk to them. They don't even feel obligated to form complete sentences. I'm not saying that we can go through our lives without goals. I am not saying it's bad to be happy when you make a certain amount of money per month and achieve a goal. But what I am saying is, it's important to understand what exactly happiness is. You need to ask yourself, where does my happiness come from? And ruthlessly ask yourself, why do I get my happiness from this thing? If you ask yourself why enough times, you will get down to the core of yourself. Maybe the reason why you love cars so much is because your dad loved cars. Maybe your dad loved cars so much that he neglected you as a child. And because you have not dealt with this issue, subconsciously, when you get these amazing cars, you are trying to impress him and get attention from him. This might sound a little weird and crazy. I know, I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist, but this type of behavior is actually much more common than you realize. You need to ask yourself why. As you get older and older, you get so much stuff just laid upon you, pushing your happiness further and further down the rabbit hole, which chains you down even more. And again, happiness is being free. If it gets really bad and the chains become too much, people will try and escape by using drugs, food, sex. No matter what it is, people